Hi everyone. Okay, week 5. We are a quarter of the way through. Let's go ahead and bring up SimNet and let's get started. Week 5 has several resources. Be sure to download all of them. I believe that there are 4 pictures. I saved mine to my hard drive in my pictures folder so that I could get to those quickly. Go ahead and open up your instructions and then download your start file. Once you've done that, go ahead and save someplace. Again, the fastest way to save is F12, and put that someplace where you can find it and you can upload it very quickly to SimNet. You are now done with question number 1. Question number 2 says click the Slide Master button. For this project, you will make changes to 4 different layouts. We did use Slide Master in the very first chapter, and I should have been a little bit more specific, so I'm going to slowly walk you through this process because everyone will have this on their final a minimum of 1 time. You need to go to the View tab, and in the Master Views group, click Slide Master. You'll notice that we have slides in the left-hand navigation pane, but we need to use the scroll bar to scroll up to the top in order to click the Office Theme Slide Master used by slides 1 through 5. So go ahead and click that. Once you've done that, now we need to select our grid lines. My grid lines happen to already be on, but let's get yours turned on. Go to the View tab, and in the Show group, you will see 3 boxes, Ruler, Grid Lines, and Guides. Select your grid lines. C says to select the title placeholder and then press down the arrow several times so the top of it is even with the first horizontal grid. Make sure that that title slide is selected. I know that it is. I have that solid line going around and touching each radio button. And now use on your keypad your down arrows and make it so that it's even with the first horizontal line, dotted grid line. Change the the title placeholder size. The height needs to be 1 inch and 13.33. Click on your Drawing Tools Format tab, and over on the far right you will see where you are able to change your height to 1 and your width to 13.33. And I just hit enter after I get done with both. 3E is click the Align button and choose Align Center. We need to stay in the Drawing Tools Format tab, and then in the Arrange group is Align, and then we want to choose Align Center. Change the shape fill to dark red, accent 6, darker 50%. And that was found in the Drawing Tools Format tab, Shape Styles group. 3G says to change the font. So Home tab is where your font is found in the font group, to Lucidia Handwriting. And once you do that, then you're going to go and you're going to change the font size to 44. Next, we also want to make this bolded and add a shadow. So in the same group, in the Home tab, bold, and now we have an extra button which is called Text Shadow. So it just adds a shadow behind the selected text to help it stand out on the slide. Now we're on question number 4. We're going to insert and rotate a decorative image. It may be slightly harder to see on my screen as well as your screen. I have my windows open at work, and so the blinds are up, and so it may be harder to see, but I'll go slow on this part. So on the first layout, and we're here on the first master slide, you're going to click the Pictures button. So Insert and Pictures. And when you want to search for and select Vine 1-04. If you're like me and you save to your pictures and you happen to have a lot of pictures in here, the cool thing is that it automatically puts it in alpha order, or alphabetical order if you will, so you're able to find that readily easily. So Vine 1-04 and insert. So you see that it's landed in the center of the page. Let's extend the height to 4.5. You're already in Picture Tools and the Format tab. Over on the far right in the size, just go ahead and click in height and change it to 4.5 and then enter. And don't mess with the width because the width will automatically adjust. Next, click the Rotate button. That is found in the Picture Tools Format tab in the Arrange group, and then Rotate, and we want to flip horizontal. Repeat this next move, go back and go into the Rotate button and choose Rotate Left 90 degrees. 4E asks us to click the Align button, which is found in that Picture Tools Format tab, Align, and we want to first align top, and then go back in and repeat the same move, and this time align to the right. Now your picture is in the upper top right-hand corner. 5A, in this we're going to be adding a rectangle and adjusting the stack order. So select the title slide layout. If you hover on the left-hand navigation pane side, you're able to see that the second slide is title slide layout, used by at least one of these slides in our presentation. So select him, click the Shapes button, which is found in the Home tab in the Drawing Tools area, and you want to click the More button and choose Rectangle. Now let's go ahead and draw the rectangle. All you have to do is just do a left click once you've clicked on the rectangle. Change the height to 4.5 and the width to 13.33. Click the Align button and align top, and then go back and repeat the same moves and then align center. Now notice that mine came up in color. I think yours should too. If it's not, don't worry, we've got to actually change the color. The main thing that I want you to notice is that this new object or shape, the rectangle that we've now inserted, is on top of the information behind there, and it's hard to see that. So let's take a look to see how we're going to change the color as well as moving the shape to the back of the picture foreground or background. So let's go ahead and look at 5D. Change the shape fill color to background 1. That's in the Drawing Tools Format tab in the Shape Styles group, black, background 1. Change the shape outline to no outline. And then lastly, click the Send Back List arrow, which is still within the Drawing Tools Format tab, underneath the Arrange group. Send backwards, there is a drop-down arrow, click him, and now select Send Back. So your new object, that triangle that you just drew, is now in the background, and everything else that was on the slide is now in the front. 6 says that we're going to be doing some adjusting to the placeholders. So 6A tells us on the title slide layout, which is what we're in, slide 2, you're going to select the title placeholder, click the Align button, and select Align Top. Change the shape fill. We want no fill. 6C, select the subtitle placeholder, and it might take you more than one click. Make sure that you've got the subtitle placeholder and nothing else behind there. I know that it's selected. Again, I've got that solid line going around that's touching all of the little radio buttons. And then you are going to click Bring Forward. We need to be in the Drawing Tools format, in the Arrange group, Bring Forward, and then go ahead and select Bring Front. And now this solid line that was here before is now behind the subtitle, and you can see we've got Edit Master that showed up on that maroon line or dark red 50% line. Now you're going to finish up letter D by bringing the subtitle placeholder up a little bit. We want the third line text, which is the subtitle style, these words to be positioned on this thin rectangle here on that dark red. So just use your up arrow and you can play with it just to kind of make sure it's a little bit even and it looks right to the eye. It's aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Number 7 says to insert a decorative image and use grid lines. A. On the title slide layout, which is still the second slide, click the Pictures button, so Insert and then Pictures, and you're going to select Vine 2-04. Vine 2-04. Go ahead and click Insert, and it's hard to see, but I do have this decorative vine image. Drag the top and side sizing handles to increase the vine image to about 2.5 and the width to 10.5. So I'm just going to grab these handles and extend those. And if it doesn't quite work, go ahead and go into your size group and do 2.5 and then change the width to 10.5. Now, you will notice that my height went back to whatever I started with, 2.14. What's happening is that I've got my lock set. So let's unlock that door. Down where it says size, you need to click your launcher to size and position. Now you have a format picture, format pane pop up on the right hand side of your screen. Down towards the middle it says lock aspect ratio. Deselect that. Now you're able to go in and change your height to 2.5 and then your width should stay to 10.5. Go ahead and close up that format pane. And we still have it selected, so don't touch anything just yet. And I can see that there's a slight picture behind there. It's kind of hard because we changed the background to that black background 1. Now you're going to move the image to the bottom of the slide using the grid lines to judge spacing. Move the vine image to be centered on the gray area, which is in here, at the bottom of the slide. Because the image has extra space on the left, the handles will not appear centered, and that's okay. So what that means is left click what we just inserted, that picture, hold it down and drag it down till you can see it. And notice that it looks like it's not centered because the left hand side of the box is a little bit off center, off kill from the other two boxes that we have, the title and the subtitle, but that's okay. I made sure that my lines, or my picture, and how I've placed it matches figure 4-126 on the instructions. And go ahead and kind of move it around a little bit so that it does match that. Once you have that done, let's move to 8. Now we're going to apply a picture bullet. Everyone will have this on their test. Select the title and content layout. That will be the third layout, if you will, on the left-hand navigation pane. And it says title and content layout used by slides 2 through 4. So go ahead and click on that. Now this part is a little bit tricky, so you'll want to pay attention to what you're doing. The instructions tell us to select the first two bullets and only the first two bullets. There's no need, because we do not have a third, fourth, or fifth level in any of the slides 2 through 4. We only go a couple of levels. Once you've selected those first two levels, those first two bullets, next you will click the bullet list arrow and choose bullets and numbering. Home tab, the bullet list arrow, bullets and numbering. Next, go to picture, and you will look for, in your from file, browse, and look for Note-04. And go ahead and click insert. And now you can see musical notes that are added to those first two bullets. Now we're going to use grid lines and align placeholders and change text. Select the selection header layout. So that'll be the fourth layout slide on the left-hand side of the navigation pane. Select the title placeholder. And I know that it's selected. I've got that solid line. That is so key. You cannot have a dotted line on anything that you ever select for an object. It will not take any formatting or whatever you do to it. Okay, so select that. Change its size to 3.5. You have to go to your drawing tools format. Height 3.5. And our width will be 9.6. 3.5, 9.6. 9D, click the Align button and align right. E, move the title placeholder up so the top is even with the second horizontal grid line. I am just going to wing this by left clicking it, and then go ahead and use my up and down arrows just to look to make sure that I've got it just right. Again, horizontal lines go across. If you haven't gotten the hang of what the horizontal is, think about the sun comes up over the horizon. The lines that are going up and down are vertical. My mom has vertical blinds. That's what I tell my students face to face, and it's what I'm going to end up telling you all in this online class. Vertical is up and down, horizontal goes across. Let's take a look at 9F now. Change the font color for this title slide or title placeholder to Lucidia handwriting, and make sure that the font size is 28. To do that, you have to go back to your home tab, Lucidia handwriting, and we want 28 point. Now click the Align Text button. Align and Align Text are a little bit different. When you're setting for the final, be sure that you read the entire question first before making the move. We will not be going to Format to do Align. You are going to be in the Home tab, and in the Paragraph group, select Align Text and then Align Middle. This is our text that we're aligning to this object. When you go to your Align this way, you're actually aligning the object. We just want to align the text. There is a difference. Next, let's go ahead and 9H, select the subtitle placeholder, solid line going around. Change that font to Lucidia as well, handwriting, and the size should be 28. This time, let's add a bold to it, and then we have the shadow, the text shadow button appears. Not for sure if you're familiar with that. Basically, this just makes the text stand out or pop out more on your slide. So turn that on as well this time around. J says to click the Align Text button. Again, align text, not align. And we are also going to center the text to the middle. So you see that Click to Edit Master Title is in the middle. and on your title object, and then on your subtitle object, we've now taken our text and have put that in the middle. K says to resize the subtitle placeholder and align it on the grid lines as shown in figure 4-17. Right below on your instruction sheet here is how that is supposed to look. So on the left hand side of that subtitle placeholder, there are 3 radio buttons. Choose the middle one, left click and hold it in and drag it to the right. We want it to be on one line, so don't go to the right where you start ending up with text on more than one line. Once you've done that, then you'll just pick up the placeholder, left click it, hold it down and move it down, and then move it over to the far right. And then just release. Now you're going to click the rectangle tool and we're going to draw a rectangle. The height needs to be 0.3. Make sure that when you are inserting any kind of a picture tool that you look at the actual size and the height. This says 0.3. So it's not 3 inches, but it is 0.3. Go ahead and hit enter. Change your width to 13.33. And now we've got this nice solid line going. So let's click the align button, not align text. We don't have any text. We want to go into the align group and we want to center this. Change the shape fill to black, background 1. And then change the shape outline to no outline. Now let me back up for 2 seconds. MN or ILMN, you will probably always have the M and N. After you've inserted something, they will always probably tell you to go in and change the shape, fill, and then change the shape outline. That is pretty much a given when you're taking that final. So anything, any object that you insert, any kind of drawing tools that you do, they'll always want you to go right in, change the shape fill, and probably change the shape outline. Every once in a while, you'll change the shape effects. Okay, so just you'll have to memorize that those buttons are right there within your drawing tools as soon as you get done adding whatever shape you need to add. Move this shape to fit above the title placeholder. So left click, hold it down and drag it down just above that title placeholder. And now we're on 10. Copy an image from one layout and paste it on another layout. On the first layout, it says to select the vine shape and press Control C. So the first layout, it's numbered number 1. It's the Office Theme Slide Master. Go ahead and click on that. Click the vine shape, press Control, and then click on C. Control C. B says now to select the selection header layout, which is the 4th slide down, and if you hover it pops up section header layout. Click that and then press Control and click your letter V. Now we have a couple of vines. I'm going to move this one over just so you can see. This is the one that's been copied from that first slide, and then there's another one behind there. Okay? Now, the one that I've just moved over is the one that you want to have selected. We're going to do a couple of things to him. This is your rotation button. When you hover over it, your pointer changes shapes. You are going to left click once it's changed shapes and you're going to rotate it. And I'm going to do it just a little bit more. And then you are going to pick up that image and position it on the lower left. If you need an example, take a look above on the instructions in figure 4-127. So I'm just going to try to make it look like that picture. I'm going to rotate it just slightly more. And it looks like I'm about spot on. Okay, 11. Click the Slide Master tab and click the Closed View. I'm already in Picture Format Tools, Format. There's my Closed Slide Master view. Just click that, turn it off. 11. And by the way, we're about halfway done. This is going to be a long video this week. My apologies. There's a few things in here, though, that are vital and key to the success of you taking that final. So I want to make sure that I'm taking my time while we're doing this lecture this week. Question number 12 says slides 1 and 2 are complete with changes made to the slide master. So there isn't really too much we have to do. We did everything. Take a look at the image that we stuck in there. We did put in this rectangle. Slide 2, we changed the bullets to notes. That looks very nice. We moved our title up and then we actually deleted that second title before. So on 13, we have number 13 on slide 3. We're going to be doing a couple of things. Let's take a look at this. Select the SmartArt graphic. Now notice that as soon as I clicked in there, there appears to be a couple of things accepted. I just want to make sure that I've got one item accepted, so I'm going to click on that outside line, not the one inside. The one inside is really for the arrows, so click the outside line. That accepts the entire object itself. Let's do some color changes. So we're designing something, right? So I want you to start memorizing these buttons and where we're headed. As soon as you select an object, your Smart Object or SmartArt tools pop up. We're designing something. We're not really formatting it, we're designing it. That's where you're going to find the Change Colors button. Everyone will have this at least a minimum of once on their final. You just kind of have to memorize where things are. We're not using this design because this is really about themes and variants. We want to use our SmartArt tools, then design. Let's change the color. It's asking us to change the color to Dark Fill 2. If you hover, again, that's why Bill Gates is the millionaire, billionaire guy and we're not. They've programmed this that when you hover, the titles pop up. So you want to choose in the primary theme color group, the second one, Dark Fill Outline, or Dark Fill, excuse me, Outline. And let's just look at the other ones. And actually that would be the third one, my apologies, Dark Fill number 2. So that's the third one. And so now take a look at the color of our arrows. Now they're gray. They're dark filled. 14 says to modify a table. On slide 4, select the table. Make sure that you've selected the table. I can see my cursor here is flashing. I want to go and just touch the outside so that I can make sure that I've got that solid line going around. Click the More button. The More button comes up underneath the Table Tools in Design, because we're designing it. These are your More buttons. So go ahead and click that. And we want to select Medium Style 2. That is the second row, first column. Select the table text, and I know that we still have the whole table selected, so it's not just I have to go in and highlight all of the text. Just select the entire table, and let's change the font. So Home tab, we're going to pick Lucidia, handwriting, and it does not look like we have to change the font size, so we'll leave it to 18. We are, however, going to resize the table slightly to align with the grid lines as shown in figure 4-128, which is just right above, if you're looking at the instructions, it's right above there. So I'm going to grab one of these radio buttons and I'm going to drag it just a little bit, and then I'm going to drag the bottom left one down and then try to stay on those grid lines as much as possible. And I will do the same for the left and even it up to put it right on those grid lines. Grid lines is a nice feature to have. That way you can see where you are with the slide itself and try to line things up as much as possible to make it pleasing to the eye. So now that we're done doing that, let's deselect the grid lines. So remember now, you had to view the grid lines, so let's go to your View tab, deselect grid lines in the Show group because we were showing them. That's where they're found at, Show group, deselect. Let's go to question number 16. We're going to insert and align a picture. Everyone will have this move. This move is a little bit different. It's not just inserting a picture, okay? So I'm going to go a little bit slow. Let's go to slide 4, or with slide 4 selected. We are going to create a slide with the title only layout. All you have to do is go back home, go to New Slide, and we want title only layout. Once you click it, the new slide appears right below slide 4. For the title, we want Enjoy the Show. Don't forget to capitalize your E and your S, lowercase t for the, and then an exclamation point. Now that you're done with that, let's go ahead and click on our pictures. So Insert, then Pictures. And now we're going to insert the Violin-04 picture. Violin-04. Okay, now that it's in, let's get this puppy resized, or in this case, I guess the violin, right? So let's go to Height. You're already in Picture Tools. Underneath the Format tab, let's go to the Size group. You want the height to be 5.75 and you want the width to be 3.83. It should change automatically. Now, I did not mention this before, and if I did, I apologize for repeating myself, but if you're not able to change either of those and it keeps defaulting back to the original size, in the Size group is a little arrow with the half square. That's called a launcher. Click on that. That takes you to your Format Picture pane, navigation pane. This button here says Lock Aspect Ratio. You need to deselect that on those previous pictures that we've entered if you can't change the height and the width. That's where you do it. Sometimes that happens. And then to close up, just click the X. Okay, so in F, let's now click the Align button and let's align this to the left, and then repeat and go back and align it to the bottom. 17 is where it's going to get slightly tricky. We're going to now remove the picture background. This stuff here, we don't want this to show up. We've got a little small space over on the left too. That's important for you to know how to do this. Some pictures, if you've noticed when you've added them from the internet to anything, they've got a white background, some don't, some come with black backgrounds. Well, to get rid of those backgrounds, you simply click the Remove Background button, which is within the Picture Tools Format tab in the Adjust group, Remove Background. Increase the selection area size by dragging the handles of the edge of the photograph so the violin retains its original size. Those instructions in 17C means you're going to come over here, and we've got purple in the background, but you also have these radio buttons. Just pick those up and drag them so that we have the entire picture of the violin selected. We don't want to get rid of that, and I'm just going to kind of play with mine just for a second. So we've got those completely selected. So now we still have a little bit of purple going on, so let's get that fixed. Now you're in 17D, it says to click the mark areas to keep. You'll notice that the purple is on the violin. We want to keep that. So let's go ahead and mark these areas to keep, and then click on the violin areas until they disappear. Until they appear, excuse me. So it looks like we've got everything in there, so all that purple is gone. Click the mark areas to remove, and click the small area on the left of the violin. So I'm going to kind of start at the top and then make my line down until that area is removed. It looks like there's a little bit more in there, and that's about it, okay? And then let's go ahead and click Keep Changes. And so now we've got this looks the same as this small area on the far left, and we've got everything within the violin accepted. Let's click Send Back List arrow and then select Send Back. We are going to send this picture to the back. So we're already in the Picture Tools Format tab. Over in the Arrange group, use your drop-down arrow for Send Back and then select Send to Back. We are almost done. Last step, this is important. Make sure that when you're finished with this project, your presentation has 6 slides. If it does not, your project will not grade properly and you may lose a significant number of points. Check your work carefully. Let's go ahead and save this presentation, close it, and now let's upload it and let's see if Dr. Barnes got 100. Before I forget, I was reminded by some students that have already had Excel or the Word class, you are able to use No, I'm Not Ready. It actually saves your work as a draft, and then you're able to go back in and finish it. I'm not sold on you using this. You can use it. Other students have, and they have not had any problems. I like to just go ahead and save to a thumb drive or to my desktop or to my hard drive, my personal computer, and then go back if I'm not quite ready to finish up the project and then submit it. That is completely up to you, but I did want to throw that option out there. Go ahead and say submit. Let's take a look to see what we get. I know this was a long one. I did get 100. Yeah, so hopefully you will be successful in this. Go ahead and try your last 2 assignments for week 5. Actually, you lucked out because we had so many last week. So you've got just 1 independent to do. Remember, if you happen to get stuck, don't email me, but go ahead and use the Ask My Instructor tab. Let me get to that in our course shell. There were a few of you last week that did do that. That's definitely vital and important that you continue to use that. I will not be around for the next couple of weekends, so go ahead and go in there and take a look at everything. All right, good luck.